Hello, my name is Ron Ahnen. My pronouns are he and him, and I am excited to be here today with you to celebrate our service of the living tradition. What was that? What did I hear you ask? What's all the excitement about? Well, let me tell you. We UUs are proud of the fact that our tradition embraces what others see as fundamental contradictions. Take our multi-religiosity, for example. Rests on the fact that all religions have some truth. Some might call it knowledge of the divine, even if it appears to outsiders that there are irreconcilable differences between Jews and Christians, Muslims and Hindus, pagans and Buddhists. And one of our seemingly central contradictions is the fact that we celebrate our tradition as a living one. What does that mean? Doesn't tradition mean doing the same things over and over again, week after week, month after month, year after year? So it's kind of hard to understand, but it's also easy. It's hard because it seems like that the only constant we have is change. But it's easy because we know that we're always changing, and maybe that's part of the excitement. In my experience as a Star King Seminary student, I take classes with students from other faiths, and they don't have this way of looking at tradition. Their focus is on learning their faith's dogma, learning the doctrine, and then leading their congregations in how to live that out. But I would say that we UUs have a little bit more heavy lifting to do. We need to ask ourselves two things. First, we need to ask ourselves, what do we want to do with this faith tradition that we were handed by our ancestors and elders? Every generation has to ask themselves, how are we going to live out our faith so that it speaks to us today? What does our Unitarianism mean? What does our universalism mean? How are we going to practice our liberal faith? I'm going to ask you a question today, and that is, what does your UU faith call you to do? And I mean you personally, you sitting there right now in your lazy chair, in your room, on whatever device you're listening to me on. Your answer, your personal answer makes a difference because it helps to create our collective answer, which then constitutes our living tradition. And the second question that we have to ask is related. Is it worth it? In this period of time where people are more and more skeptical of government and leadership and news outlets, and yes, even religious institutions, we have to ask, do we want to continue as a community of faith? Well, my answer to that is yes. For me, being a member of this congregation and this faith helps me to both build together and then to celebrate the beloved community and to celebrate our greatest joy in life, which is to be able to reach out to one another and to embrace each other in love. And in fact, that is the center of our living tradition, is love. And that's what I'm excited about, because that's what we're going to celebrate today. So I say, come on, let's worship together.